Hey everyone, Jay here. Today I'm covering some of the games that came out during E3. I won't be covering every game, as there's just way too many to make in a short video, so I'll only be mentioning those that really stood out to me. Now, before I continue, I would just like to stress that none of these videos belong to me. They are in fact uploaded by the respective publishers for the games, and I'll be linking them in the description below. Please do check those out and give them a like if you are in support of the game. Anyway, on to the show. So the first game that really stood out to me was Anthem by BioWare and published by EA. I'm not gonna say it's definitely Game of the Year 2018, but honestly speaking, it's the game that really stood out to me. It's got a bit of elements of Destiny and Borderlands 2, in the sense that there are loot drops and 4-player co-op and things like that, along with an open world to explore. And it seems like the combat is going to be really solid as well. Graphically speaking, it looks great, but then again, this is E3, you can't really take it as is. I think it's safe to assume that it's either going to be close, or that was just another bullshot from another publisher. Hopefully not though. The suit that we are going to be using, that's pretty much going to be our character, looks awesome to use. It seems that there are going to be different suits and they all have different abilities. For example, in the trailer, one was even hovering. And apparently you can even customize the suit and its abilities as well. So you'll really be able to tailor the suit to your playstyle. Gameplay wise, the shooting looks good. Can't really say much since we didn't really have much of a hands-on, especially from where I was sitting, which was pretty much logging onto YouTube every day and hoping for the next footage. The movement actually looks really fun. I mean, you can fly about anywhere, hopefully. There's sprinting, there's super jumps. I'm hoping the suit isn't limited in its abilities by some arbitrary meter or whatever, and we're free to use it as much as we want. Now, I do understand that some of the special abilities might have a bit of a cooldown or something, and that I can understand, but please do not limit us from using the suit as we want. I'm also really hoping that you can actually fly around the whole map. I mean, they showed something that looked like that. Will we actually be able to do that, or is it just certain locked off regions? I also appreciate the fact that there's not really much of a hood. I mean, a heads-up display is fine and all, but when was the last time we saw a game with a truly immersive heads-up display? I mean, the last thing I can think of is Dead Space. I'm guessing Metro had something similar, but you really had to turn off most of the other displays anyway. This one looks like it's going to be very much turned off unless you're in combat, just so you can see where you can aim. Otherwise, it's pretty much non-existent, and I like that. And considering the fact that it's a cooperative experience, I don't think we're going to have an issue with unbalanced weapon drops and stuff. Come on EA, give us something interesting to play with, something interesting to shoot with. Borderlands 2 had crazy weapon combos. There was the Infinity, which was my personal favorite. Never ran out of ammo, never even used ammo. It just fired away like a crazy mini machine gun. So yeah, give us some fun weapons to play around with. Don't worry about balancing, just give us something good to mess around with. Next up would be A Way Out by the developer of Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons, known as Hazelight, again published by EA. Now this game looks like it's going to be great when I'm on a holiday. I'll be able to bring my laptop along, plonk it down somewhere, plug in 2 controllers, call over a cousin or my sister or whatever, and we can just play a game where we try to get out of prison. Seems to be a very story-driven game. The setting actually looks really interesting. I don't know about you guys, I actually enjoyed the prison section in Mafia 2. It was unique, it was different, we don't really visit that kind of location in games. But this game seems to be mostly about getting out of prison. I also like the fact that it's completely co-op and there's no single player option. Your screen is always going to be split into 2 halves, one for one character and one player, and one for the other. And you'll always be able to see what the other is doing. Seeing as it's not a competitive but a cooperative game, this is going to be great in terms of knowing that your friend isn't trying to mess you over. I would like to see how they implement in-game communication. Will it be voice comms? Will it have a non-verbal system like Portal 2's ping tool? Or will they just completely eliminate it altogether and either hope the game can direct the players well enough, or we use Discord, worst come to worst? We'll have to see. But I'm also really glad that seeing as it's going to be always split screen, it's very likely that on PC, it's going to be always split screen as well. We don't have that many split screen games on PC. I mean, the most well-known one that I can think of in recent memory would be Rocket League. But other games such as FPSs or other racing games, in all honesty, don't really have a split screen. So yeah, A Way Out. Looks really cool and I'm really looking forward to it. Now the next game that I'm going to be talking about is Metro Exodus, developed by 4A, published by Deep Silver. This game was pretty much the E3 highlight for many. I mean, based on what I'm seeing people say on Reddit, on Facebook, on all the usual gaming sites and stuff, this is pretty much like the best thing they'd seen in E3. Metro is essentially a series that is as loved as the Witcher series is by the gaming community. A small group of developers who pretty much popped up out of nowhere and managed to forge their own path and hit great success with games built for gamers. What's interesting about Metro Exodus is that it's no longer completely linear levels. They're going to be having open-ended levels instead, or wide open areas that you can explore. There's still going to be a start and end point, as is always, but now you'll be given the option to move around and find your own path to reach the objective. If you're having trouble visualizing that, consider the first Crysis and its open-ended level design. It's also another visual step up. I mean, the game looked beautiful in the trailer. Once again, this is E3 and the footage may not be representative of the final product, but it looks really good and I'm hoping that 4A actually delivers. They're not exactly a company that has a bad reputation when it comes to downgrading graphics, so we'll have to see. And I think we should stop asking whether your computer can run Crysis and more, can it run Metro? Now, honestly speaking, I never really finished any of the Metro games despite having played through them a bit, but I've always been in love with the atmosphere and the story. The one thing that was really lacking for me was how effective the combat was. Combat against human enemies was fine and frantic and fun. Combat against the, well, I don't know what to call them exactly, mutants, I suppose? Those are always a slog to go through. I'm hoping that Metro Exodus will actually have better combat. They seem to have shown a much improved combat system in the trailer. We'll have to wait and see. Wolfenstein II is the next game I'm going to be talking about, developed by Machine Games and Bethesda. Honestly speaking, nothing really special for this game. The only reason I'm highlighting this is because Wolfenstein: The New Order was a really good game. It had beautiful graphics, it had excellent combat, and a surprisingly good story. I'm hoping for more of the same in the sequel. There was also The New Blood, which was sort of a spin-off, but this is a brand new title. It has a number behind it. It's a proper sequel. I'm looking forward to more of the same, essentially. This game is really good. And yeah, give me more solid gunplay. Bethesda, you're on a roll here when it comes to reviving your old games. Please do not mess this up. Ubisoft decided to come out with Far Cry 5, not to anyone's surprise. Again, it was really nothing special. And the thing is, I'm not really too hyped for it because I'm too afraid it's going to be another Far Cry 4 and Far Cry Primal, which was pretty much a retread of Far Cry 3. I got really tired of those games. I mean, I loved Far Cry 3 all the way until I killed Vaas, and then I never bothered playing the rest of it again because it just sort of lost its appeal. Have to wait and see. Ubisoft is sort of on the up and up. They're trying to improve the quality of their products. I'm willing to give them a chance, but I'm still not exactly gonna hop on the bandwagon and get a day one copy. And finally, from Capcom themselves, Monster Hunter World. Now the trailer showed off some cool mechanics and beautiful graphics, as is pretty much standard for any E3 trailer. But the only reason I'm highlighting it in this video is because it is the first Monster Hunter game that's actually coming to PC. Before this, there was a regional Monster Hunter MMO that was panned all around by everyone. So this is the first core title that's going to be coming out. It's also interesting in the sense that its major competitor on the PC platform will be Dauntless, a free-to-play hunter game as well. Monster Hunter has the pedigree, the history, and the reputation. But Dauntless has a unique art style and very active community engagement from the developers. This is actually going to be a very good case of how two very similar games can either compete or coexist in the market in the same genre, and whether the free-to-play version or the premium version of it will perform better, or will they be able to complement each other, or will they be able to coexist in peace. I mean, like I said, Monster Hunter has a history, but Dauntless is free-to-play, and a very active development team that's actively engaging with the community. We will have to wait and see, and with Dauntless coming out later this year as a free-to-play title, we'll at least get a taste of what Monster Hunter games are really like, for those of us who had never actually touched it. Full disclaimer, I've never played Monster Hunter before. So those are my games that really stood out to me during E3. What are yours? Let me know in the comments. As always, please do give me some feedback. I'm always looking to improve my videos. Until the next one, this is Jay, signing off.